Did you know that the human brain alone consists of about 100 billion neurons? It's a fact that underscores the complexity and marvel of the human nervous system. This intricate network, often compared to a supercomputer, is the command center of our body, coordinating all bodily functions and enabling us to interact with the world around us. The nervous system is like a vast, complex orchestra, conducting a symphony of functions that keep us alive, thriving, and capable of experiencing life in its fullness. From the simple act of breathing to the extraordinary feat of running a marathon, from the sensory delight of biting into a ripe apple to the intellectual challenge of solving a complex equation, every single action, sensation, and thought is orchestrated by the nervous system. Now let's talk about the two main components of this command center: the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system, or CNS, is the chief conductor of this orchestra. It comprises the brain and spinal cord, and it's where all the high-level processing, decision-making, and coordination takes place. On the other hand, the peripheral nervous system, or PNS, is like the musicians in our orchestra. It includes all the nerves outside the CNS and acts as the communication lines between the CNS and the rest of the body. It carries out the orders from the CNS, allowing us to move, feel, react, and interact with our environment. Together, the CNS and PNS form a powerful duo, working in harmony to regulate our bodily functions and responses. But they don't work alone. They're supported by a vast network of cells, blood vessels, and chemicals, all contributing to the smooth functioning of our nervous system. So the next time you marvel at a beautiful painting, laugh at a joke, or simply take a deep breath, remember the amazing symphony being conducted inside your body by your own personal supercomputer, the nervous system. Now that we've established the importance of the nervous system, we delve deeper into its building block, the neuron. Imagine neurons as the electrical wiring of your home, transmitting information from one room to another. Just like the wiring system, neurons have a complex structure designed for communication. Let's break down this structure into simpler terms. At the heart of the neuron is the cell body, also known as the soma. Think of it as the power source of your home. This is where all the neuron's essential functions take place, much like how your home's power source fuels all electrical appliances. The cell body keeps the neuron alive and plays a key role in processing information. Branching out from the cell body are intricate structures called dendrites. Picture these as the wires that collect information. They receive signals from other neurons and pass them on to the cell body, just like how wires collect electricity from the power source. The more dendrites a neuron has, the more information it can gather. Then we have the axon, a long extension from the cell body. If dendrites are the wires collecting information, the axon is the wire transmitting it. It carries electrical impulses away from the cell body towards other neurons, muscles, or glands. To ensure a quick and efficient transmission, many axons are insulated with a fatty layer called myelin. Now, how do neurons communicate with each other? It's not through spoken words or written notes, but through electrical impulses. These impulses travel down the axon to the end, where they cause the release of chemicals called neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters jump across a tiny gap called the synapse and bind to the dendrites of another neuron, passing on the message. This is similar to how electricity travels along wires to power your devices. This constant chatter between neurons enables you to think, feel, move, and even dream. It's a never-ending conversation with billions of neurons participating, all to keep your body functioning smoothly. So in essence, neurons are the chatterboxes of your body, always communicating. Ever wondered why we feel pain when we touch something hot? Thank neurons for that. You see, neurons, the fundamental units of the brain and nervous system, play a vital role in our everyday life. They are the unsung heroes that work tirelessly behind the scenes, making sure we interact seamlessly with our environment. Without neurons, we wouldn't be able to sense the world around us. Imagine not being able to smell the aroma of freshly brewed coffee or feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. It's neurons that pick up these sensory signals and send them to our brain, helping us make sense of our surroundings. Let's consider another example. Picture yourself walking down a bustling street. Suddenly, a cyclist zooms past you. Almost instantaneously, you step back, avoiding a collision. This quick reaction is all thanks to neurons that are part of your nervous system, which functions like a well-oiled machine responding to stimuli at lightning speed. But neurons do more than just help us sense and react. They are also responsible for controlling various body functions. From regulating our heartbeat to coordinating our movements, neurons are at the helm. Ever noticed how you don't need to consciously tell your heart to beat or your lungs to breathe? That's neurons at work, silently ensuring your body functions run smoothly. Neurons also play a crucial role in our cognitive functions. They help us think, learn, remember, and even dream. Every time you recall a cherished memory or learn a new skill, you have neurons to thank. They form intricate networks, allowing us to process information, solve problems, and make decisions. In essence, neurons are the lifeblood of our existence. They help us interact with and perceive the world, respond to changes, control our bodily functions, and engage in complex thought processes. They are like the silent maestros conducting the symphony that is human life. So it's clear that without neurons, life as we know it would be impossible. Think of the central nervous system as the main circuit board, and the peripheral nervous system as the auxiliary circuits spreading throughout the house. Now imagine a bustling city. The central nervous system, or CNS, is like the city's control center, the hub where all decisions are made. This system consists of our brain and spinal cord, the two powerhouses of decision-making and command issuing. The CNS is where all the magic happens: thoughts, emotions, memories, and the coordination of movement. But the CNS doesn't work alone. It's supported by a vast network of nerves, known as the peripheral nervous system, or PNS. The PNS is like the city's messengers and workers, running errands and carrying out the commands issued by the CNS. It's made up of all the nerves outside of the brain and spinal cord, and its primary role is to connect the CNS to the rest of the body. The PNS is further divided into two parts: the somatic nervous system, which controls voluntary actions like waving or jumping, and the autonomic nervous system, which controls involuntary actions like heart rate and digestion. Here's how it works. The PNS gathers information from the environment, such as temperature, light, and sound. It then sends this data to the CNS for processing. The CNS analyzes the information and decides on a course of action. This decision is then relayed back to the PNS, which carries out the command, whether it's to shiver in response to cold or to squint in bright light. This constant communication between the CNS and PNS is what allows us to interact with and respond to our environment, enabling us to live, learn, and experience the world around us. So, while the CNS might be the star of the show, the PNS is the unsung hero, working tirelessly in the background to ensure that everything runs smoothly. In a nutshell, the CNS and PNS work hand in hand to keep us functioning and alive. Neurons communicate with each other like how we send text messages, using a language called neurotransmitters. Just imagine, you're in a bustling city, and every single resident is constantly sending and receiving messages. That's a pretty good picture of what's happening inside your brain. Now, let's dive into the world of neurotransmitters. These are special chemicals that function like messengers. The role of these neurotransmitters is to transmit signals from one neuron to the next, across a gap called the synapse. When a nerve impulse reaches the end of a neuron, it triggers the release of these neurotransmitters. Then, like a letter being delivered, these neurotransmitters cross the synaptic gap and bind to specific receptors on the receiving neuron. This allows the message to be passed along, continuing the nerve impulse. But neurotransmitters are not just messengers. They also play a key role in regulating our moods. You've probably heard of serotonin, the neurotransmitter often associated with feelings of happiness and well-being, or dopamine that gives us that feel-good sensation when we achieve something. These are just two examples of how neurotransmitters influence our emotions and behaviors. They also play a crucial role in regulating our sleep. Ever wondered why you feel sleepy at night and awake during the day? That's thanks to our friend melatonin, a neurotransmitter that helps regulate our sleep-wake cycle. Overall, neurotransmitters ensure that our brain functions smoothly. They are involved in everything from learning and memory to muscle movement to keeping our heart rate steady. Without them, our neurons would be like phones with no service, unable to send or receive any messages. So, neurotransmitters are the unsung heroes, ensuring smooth communication between our neurons. They are the language of our brain, the critical link that allows billions of neurons to work together in harmony, making us who we are. Subscribe and don't forget to take care of yourselves. Goodbye.